Hey everybody, welcome back to Royal Tarot Readings. This is my fun channel that I do for tarot readings on the royal family. All information presented in this video is for fun and entertainment purposes only. It's fun. It's tarot. I'm just a gal with cards. Alright, so today we're going to have a little bit of fun here, although it probably wasn't fun for Mrs Macron. Oh my goodness. The shove seen around the world. I'm sure you've seen the video. If you haven't, I'll play for it. I'll play it for you right now. All right, so the door opens. They're getting ready to greet him. There he is there. And, ooh, and he's shocked. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. And what's so interesting is that the woman who's greeting them there, she's like, oh, my God. She is absolutely shocked at what she saw. Wow, she shoves him with both hands. And she's like, oh, boy, let me get out of here. Okay. Now, I saw in the news this morning that there was a lip reader who tried to see what Mrs. Macron said to the president as he was coming down the stairs. Because after this little shoving match, President Macron went off to, collect himself, and then they both met again at the top of the stairs and came down the stairs after shaking hands with the crew who met them when the door was opened. So as they're coming down the stairs, President Macron tries to offer his arm to his wife as they're walking down the stairs, and she blatantly refuses it and says to him, allegedly, "Go away, you loser," or "Get away, you loser." Okay, and he says, "Can't we try, please?" And she says, "No." So, my goodness, we do have a little bit of ice going on there. So I was watching Lady C yesterday, and she did address this. She used to live in Paris years ago, and she still has a lot of friends there who are very well connected. And she said that he has two pals from his school days. They're very high-placed, aristocratic. I'm not very familiar with the current aristocratic French I guess I should say the aristocracy in France right now. I've been wanting to do a reading on King Louis XIV and Marie Antoinette. I'm probably going to do some of those later on because I have researched a lot of that. That's always been very fascinating for me, so I'm probably going to do that at some time. But anyway, I digress. So she says that he's been palling around with two of his longtime friends, and they do a lot of partying, allegedly. And apparently, they like to, shall we say, share friends. Their girlfriends. Their gal friends. Anyway, apparently that's what the shoving match was about. I don't know, allegedly. That's what Lady C said. I'll see if I can get a clip of her where she said that. It was kind of a long-winded statement that she made. Sometimes she does get off on tangents like I do. But I'll see if I can play it here for you. Okay, so let's see if we can find out what was going on between President and Mrs. Macron. My goodness. All right, so for this reading, I'm going to use the Gold Foil Tarot. You know what's so interesting is that periodically I'll just count the cards in my deck just to see and make sure I have them all. I haven't done that for a while, and for this deck, I decided to count them this morning, and there were two missing. And I went searching around, and sure enough, they were right off camera here on one of the chairs. I guess they had slipped onto one of the chairs. I don't know how that happened. Sometimes when I'm shuffling, cards go flying, and I guess I just didn't get them all the last time I used this deck. But so interesting that something made me want to count the cards. So I always go with my instincts. All right, so for this reading, I'm not going to ask any general questions. I was going to have some to ask, but I didn't want to. In fact, here, let me clear the energy out of the air here. I didn't want to put any bias in the cards. I don't even know how to do that, but just in case that would happen, we're just going to let the tarot tell us what it wants to about this incident. Six of Wands, a victory. This incident that occurred yesterday between Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron. It's been a long time since I've had my French classes, so I'm not sure if my pronunciation is any good anymore. But all right, so let's see. Okay, the Sun, which is very public. I think there's one flipped around too. Is one flipped around? Oh, thought I saw one. If it's the devil again, I'll be very upset. I had that card trying to hide from me yesterday. All right, the Sun, which is about being in public, successful completion, shedding light on the issue. All right, so what does the tarot want to tell us about the incident that happened yesterday between the Macrons? My goodness, what in the world? The Hierophant, which is about this, this could be President Macron. And oh my goodness, look what popped up. The Lovers in reverse. A split up. Heavens. All right. Oh wow, they're definitely getting chatty. Okay, and we have the World. Wow. Okay, that's about endings. And Six of Swords going overseas. They were overseas, weren't they? I believe they were in Vietnam. All right, so cards are just about ready here. 7-card reading. Ooh. Death. Well, we're going to have an ending. Oh, goodness. All right. Here, let's do one more here. Let's see what the cards want to tell us. Heartbreak. Heartbreak and betrayal, I guess. Goodness. Just reading practically over as it is. All right. Here, we'll do one more. What the heck? Okay. I'm sorry. It has to feel right. That card wants to show itself. I am not going to look. I am sorry. My camera turned off just as I was about to cut. So I'm going to keep shuffling. That was so weird. I'm just going to keep shuffling here. Shuffle again. See if we can find out what does the tarot want to tell us about what happened between President Macron and his wife, Brigitte. What happened? What happened there that caused her to suddenly shove him? Ooh, 2 of Cups in reverse. There's a split up there. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so what can the tarot tell us about what happened between the Macrons? Why did she shove him? What's going on? Oop. The Fool in reverse. You've been so stupid. Okay. All right, maybe we'll do one more shuffle here. Maybe 2. All right, we're going to go with this one. That's so weird. Okay, still have a lot of chaotic energy. All right, here we go. 7-card reading. What is going on between the Macrons? All right, here we go. Hope you guys are doing well. Whoops. Man, these cards are really flipping out on me. Okay. All right. Underlying energy. Ooh, Justice in reverse. Oh, goodness. It's not fair. The Knight of Cups. You are no longer my knight in shining armor. Knight of Wands. You have caused me such mental anguish. Ooh, 4 swords. What's next one after that? Ooh, Queen of Cups. Okay, so 4 swords. That's about you need to recuperate. Okay, so Justice in reverse. It's not fair. Whatever's going on here, it's so not fair. I think this is going to be from Mrs. Macron's point of view. So what you've done is so unfair. The Knight of Cups, you are no longer my knight in shining armor. I don't look up to you anymore. You owe me an apology. You've taken something away from me. Ooh. 9 of Wands, being in complete and total mental anguish. So this is about you're battered and bruised. You have put up a barrier now, and you're fighting off people, but you've kind of put yourself behind a wall. And this could be a head wound too, but this is in Mrs. Macron's case, this is being very mentally attacked. She could not believe what had happened. Wow, okay. All right, let's see what the tarot can tell us. What does the tarot want to tell us about what happened between the Macrons? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so Brigitte is an Aries. She was born April 13th, 1953. She is 24 years older than he is. She's 72 and he is, I believe, 47. Queen of Pentacles. So she would show up as a Queen of Wands. This is a Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is someone who cannot balance work and home, who is having a very tough time doing that. Could be an earth sign woman. So I'm not sure who this represents, but in its own context, it's someone who's having a lot of difficulty separating work and home life, work life and home life. You know what's really interesting? is that President Macron, he would show up as the King of Pentacles. He's a Capricorn. He was born December 21st, 1977. I don't usually have men show up as a queen, but this could be him. All right, we'll see where this goes. Wow. Okay. What else can the tarot tell us? Six of Swords. They were overseas. Yep. Okay. These cards are the same ones that popped out. They were overseas. Of course, they were on. They had traveled to Vietnam, going from troubled waters to calmer waters. I think they were hoping that this trip would help provide some peace between the two of them. They thought it'd be a nice break. They'd have some fun, and that's not how it turned out. So they definitely were on an overseas trip. Yeah. Okay, Tara. That we know that. Okay. What else can you tell us on what happened? Page of Pentacles, trying to sell a story. Yeah, he definitely did try to. Tarot, okay. You're telling me things I already know, but okay, it's tuned into the energy. He tried to spin the story after, of course, when the aircraft doors opened. I don't know if she realized the doors were open, but she shoved him, and he was so taken by surprise when he saw those doors open. Of course, the first expression on his face was shock, and then it was, oh, hi. And then they tried to sell a story. They tried to pitch a story like, oh, no, that was just AI. That's not real. And then when they realized they couldn't sell that story, they did come up with another story that, oh, we were just horsing around. A little squabble. We were horsing around. Trying to sell a story that's not true. Okay, so the tarot is tuned in. This might be President Macron here. Okay, what else can the tarot tell us on why this happened? King of Wands. How interesting. He should show up as the King of Pentacles, and she should show up as the Queen of Wands. They have flipped, I'm telling you, they have flipped spots. This is President Macron, and this is Brigitte, the King of Wands. She's in charge. Oh my God, I have never had that happen before. She plays the masculine role in the relationship, and he plays the feminine role. Allegedly. Oh my gosh, it's also about authority, too. It can be police and investigations, but the energy I'm getting between the two of them, this is President Macron, and this is Mrs. Macron. And she was in her authoritative state. She was having none of it. She was having none of it. What you've done is so unfair. I don't look up to you anymore, and you've caused me such mental anguish. Wow. Well, what else? Tarot, why did this happen? Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's a woman involved. There's a younger woman involved who is very needy and clingy and dependent on President Macron, and she found out about it on this trip overseas. Yep, the exposure of, allegedly, of his involvement with a woman, younger woman, very dependent and needy on him. She found out about it on this trip. She absolutely did. What else can the tarot tell us? Oh, the devil. And all I hear in my head is, you bastard. Allegedly. You are such a narcissist. You only think about yourself. Why do you go to these dark places? Why is this evil on your mind? This is what I'm hearing in my head that she said to him. You are such a horrible person. How could you do this? How could you do this? He tried to sell her a story too. When apparently she confronted him on the plane about this information she found out about him, carousing around allegedly, and he tried to sell her a story, and she wasn't having any of it. Absolutely not. And she said, "You frickin' B-word. How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me?" She called him a narcissist too. Here, let's see if I can cover up all the little things there. There we go. This is confirming Lady C's story, allegedly. All right, what else can the tarot tell us? Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles upright is about juggling priorities. One thing is more important than the other. It can also be about merging. And in reverse, she's going to start to separate herself financially from him. Under the King of Wands, this is her in her very authoritative state. I can't believe they have switched spots in the tarot. She's showing up as the King of Wands, and he's showing up as the Queen of Pentacles. She should be the Queen of Wands, like I said. She's in her very authoritative state. This may lead to, if not a split up, at least a separation. She's going to start separating herself from him financially. She didn't want any more of it. I don't know who has the money in the family. I don't know if it's him or her. I think she does for some reason. Goodness. Now, if I were to continue with the underlying energy, we have the Four of Swords, which is recuperation. She's going to pull back now. She's going to have to, this really threw her for a loop. And she's going to have to find a way to recuperate. And then the next one is the Queen of Cups. She's going to go talk to someone in her life who can provide her a lot of comfort. Maybe a woman, a water sign woman. She's going to go get some emotional counseling. And then we have Death, which is an ending. Yeah, this may be the end of their marriage. And then the Page of Cups in reverse, surprising bad news. Yep. So that's if I were to continue with underlying energy. Wow. All right, let's do a wrap up here real quick. So for underlying energy, we had Justice. This is her talking to him. What you did was so unfair. I don't look up to you anymore. You've caused me mental anguish. She is showing up as the, President Macron is showing up as the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. He can't balance work and home. What he has been doing outside of work is now affecting his home life. He's been carousing around, allegedly. He's not been a very nice person. They were overseas on this trip, and he tried to sell her a story. And, of course, once the video caught them, he tried to sell a story to the public, too. But I think this is more about he was trying to sell her a story. When she confronted him about this knowledge that she had, he said, no, that's not true. And she had some type of proof, I think. Oh, my gosh. This is also about investigations. King of Wands. I already have the proof. I had someone either follow you. I had police look into it, private investigator, whatever. She confronted him with some evidence that she had where she said, no, that you're lying to me. I've got the proof. And then I've got the proof of this woman that you're messing around with. And I know that she's very dependent on you. And then the big confrontation. You bastard, how could you do this to me? You're such a narcissist. You only think about yourself. You lie, you cheat, She called him every name in the book. Oh, I owe $1 to the devil's swear jar, too. Let me do that. Let me finish this first. And then she's going to start to pull away from him financially. This could lead to a separation for them. If not a divorce yet, then at least a separation. She's going to start pulling away financially. She's going to start separating their finances. Wow. If she hasn't done it already. $1 to the devil's swear jar. All right, there you go. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like and share. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate my subscribers so much. Hope you guys are enjoying the readings. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss another reading. And click that subscribe button too. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. I try to produce content every day if I can. Thanks so much, everyone. We will see you again soon on Royal Tarot Readings. Goodbye, everybody.